Hey, hey, looks like I'm live. Hello, everybody. For those of you watching on replay, thank you very much for watching. You're always the people that I say hello to first, because those that are watching live probably won't turn up for a few minutes. I'm honoured that they turn up at all. Welcome to the Centre of Horseback Combat. This is Ask Karl G, episode 4. And it's been wonderful so far. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So today I've been preparing for the horse archery camp, which is going to be a 2-day camp. But one of the guests is going to arrive tonight and camp over. So we've had the tractor in, we've been preparing the ground, we're doing some strimming, doing some mowing. There's a trick riding lesson going on over there, just a little bit of work on Nellie. If any of you have ever had the honour of riding Nellie, she's currently being pressed into service. Only mare, not that wrong with mares, but to work with all geldings or to work with all mares just makes life simple. We don't have mares simply because I cannot be bothered with the field politics. Teaming up with one gelding, your favourite gelding, keeping all the others away, causing fights, breaking fences. If you had all mares, that wouldn't happen. If you had all geldings, that wouldn't happen. So I just opt for all geldings. I believe that Lorenzo has all mares, but there you are. So our token mare is Nellie. I'm hiding from the sun, as you can see, hiding in the tiniest of lemon trees. Let me show you how small a tree I'm hiding under. The shadow makes it look like I'm sat under an arbor, but there's the tree I'm hiding under. There's this little one here in the pot. There we are. And there's the trick riding lesson. I don't know if you can see Nellie through there. Maybe so, maybe not. There we are. New boy James is about. Oh, hello. Hello. Have I got dodgy reception already? That cannot be. I'm right next to the router. Let's have a little look. Have a quick check of my reception there. No, that must have just been a little hiccupy wah. There we are. Julia, hello. That's great to see you. Thanks for joining. Diane, lovely. Good evening to you. Amanda, good evening. Heather Pezzotti, good evening. I assume that's an Italian name. And that Pakistani accent that you just heard was my best Italian accent. There we go. What have you been doing on this glorious day? God, that sky looks so blue. I mean, it is blue. It looks incredibly blue. So today is a super exciting day. Now then, I've got a whole set of buttons here and I'm going to start playing with them. Let's just have a look here. See if I can pull up my shop creation today. So as you know, I've been creating merchandise with Lumion because people wanted to support me in the humongous costs that my horse has caused in his blindness. If you don't know, he's bled into his eyes, caused a huge amount of blindness, and had to go into intensive care and cost me an awful lot of money. Not that that's the important thing, but the important thing was that he didn't lose his eyes and possibly his life if it turns out that he couldn't cope without his eyes. So it was quite a serious situation. I've been publicly worried, publicly coping, publicly not coping sometimes, which is all very good. Lots of support from you, which is absolutely marvelous, and lots of people said, do a GoFundMe, do a GoFundMe, do a GoFundMe. And no, don't get me wrong, I think GoFundMe is great. I think I've supported people. For example, my friend who works in television, his little girl had to go to the States for proton ray therapy or something, and that was 6 grand or something. And so I quite happily chucked £200 on it his way. However, GoFundMe, and I really believe that GoFundMe should not be the first stop shop every time somebody gets in trouble. Every time bad luck comes to call, because bad luck comes to call on everybody. Everybody has bad luck come to call. And if you need to go for proton therapy, then I think that's fair enough. But if you're like me, you're running a business with horses, or if you get a big vet's bill and you've got lots of animals, then that's going to happen. If you have lots of animals, that is going to happen. And I've seen businesses do GoFundMes to rescue this particular rare type of breed of whatever of. And no, GoFundMe shouldn't be the first thought when it's not, let me get this right, when there's other avenues, especially if you're a business. Now, without a doubt, the money that I'm going to get through selling merchandise is not going to match a good heartbreaking story and a GoFundMe appeal. When Lumi first got struck down with his blindness in his eyes, and it was like, will he be alive this time next week? Will he have his eyes pulled out? What? It I could have just put the absolute heartbreak story. In fact, I did put the heartbreak story. I put it out to you guys and was just like, look, this is happening. And along with that heartbreak story was my plan of what I was going to do about it, which was to make some merchandise, because people are celebrating Lumi. They like him. They've seen him in the shows. They've seen him in the magazines. They know him. They know me. They know my animals. They want to help. And yeah, so buy some merchandise, and then you get a lovely picture, or I've got self-labeled wines, and t-shirts are on their way, and prints, and cups, and all the usual stuff. There's no way that would make as much money in a kind of term, as in we are making this into a kind of business thing, as a strong heartbreak GoFundMe would have caused. But nonetheless, it's not the right thing to do. It shouldn't be. The first port of call isn't to grab, and I am going to use the word charity, actually. In my situation, that would have been worse than charity, because I'm a business. If Lumi lives and gets his side back, which I believe he's going to, it's all looking very good, thank you very much, I'll continue to just make money from him. So no, GoFundMe was particularly wrong, and I'm not at all comfortable with it's the first stop. Not at all comfortable. In some cases it would be the first stop, but in an awful lot of cases it isn't. So anyway, there you go. That was my stand on it. And please go along to my shop. It's called the Luminoso Collection, and have a little look. And if there's something that you'd like, then buy a copy, and you'll enjoy that forever. And that's absolutely super. Something you don't like, don't buy a copy. There's going to be so much merchandise of every different size and shape. There's going to be something for everyone. That's what I've decided to do. There's already a calendar, and there's mounted division socks, and there's going to be something for everybody. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. I'm just going to have a quick look through the comments and see if I've touched a nerve. There we are. Lovely. Oh, someone's agreed with me, so that's good. Thank you, Tracy. Oh, right. Oh, marvelous. Everyone's well, not everyone's agreeing with me. Well, they are so far, actually. Oh, Diane's riding Picasso in the sun. I know another horse called Picasso. Oh, I wonder if it's the same horse. There we are. Italiani. There's my Pakistani accent again. Lovely. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Marvelous. So yes, what I want to talk about today, I talked about risk perception last time, how there are 3 million leisure riders, and most of them are going for a ride today. They're doing thousands of rides every year, which is billions, billions with a B. And billions is a lot more than millions, thousands more as it happens. There are billions of journeys going on, and billions of journeys where people just come back having had a nice time. Well, they might not have had a nice time. They might have just gone out thinking, hope I don't die, hope I don't die, hope I don't die, hope I don't die, and then come back and said, I nearly died. Or the very best that they can say is, well, nothing happened. Nonsense. Of course things happened. Problem was, they were all positive. Lots of things happened. The sun shone through the little tufts in their ears, and the bees were buzzing, and the flowers were bobbing, and the kids were giggling, and we could be very mindful about it and enjoy every last moment. But there you are. Some people, they go around going, hope I don't die, hope I don't die, hope I don't die. And then when they get back, they say nothing happened. Nonsense. Loads happened. Problem was, it was all positive. Anyway, so yes, there's billions of people, and people ignore those billions of rides where you simply go out and come back. And those rides when you fall off but you don't get hurt, they ignore those as well, and that's in the billions, certainly in the millions. And when you do get hurt, all the times when the hurt is a sprained wrist, a sprained thumb, bruised, battered, the usual stuff. So today I want to talk about when your horse is messing around. You've suddenly found yourself in a situation where if you make a mess of it, you're going to make a right mess of it. So you have to take the action to make sure that you don't make a mess of it, and you land with all those billions of journeys where it's absolutely fine. So you just want to tip the odds in your favor. So when it's time to take action, your horse is messing around, it's time to take action. What does your brain do? Does it help you and take action? Put in the comments what your brain does. I'll be interested to see. I'm waiting for somebody to say my brain freezes. Brain freeze. Now, when I was a kid, brain freeze came from ice cream. But since I learnt to ride at the age of 36, suddenly this other explanation for brain freeze came. And horse riders say you get brain freeze, you freeze. Well, actually, the phrase is brain freeze. If you've heard the phrase brain freeze, just bob a little thumbs up in the comments or something. I've heard the phrase brain freeze, not in an ice cream based way, thousands and thousands of times since I started doing this Rider Confidence. Before then, I'd never heard it, except as an ice cream phenomenon. Isn't that interesting? Now, when I do my Rider Confidence and I say that little speech, so I just say your horse messes around, you've got to make sure that you tip the odds in your favour so you land with the billions of rides where it's absolutely fine. And what does your brain do? And just about everybody says brain freeze. And I ask, have you heard the term brain freeze? And they say, yeah, I've heard brain freeze, brain freeze. I just find that amazing that this whole concept that your brain freezes is constantly bounded about in some of the leisure riders that I meet on the Rider Confidnce course. Isn't that amazing? Because nobody says that you get brain freeze in any other situation. If you're driving your car across a roundabout, and the reason why I'm talking about this today is because yesterday I had to drive across the country to get a bit of furniture, and sure enough, we came to an absolute disaster of a roundabout where I didn't know where I was going, and the sat nav said take the left now off the roundabout, and I didn't know which left it was because they were both both close together. And so I went round the roundabout again, and it was like, oh, and I went round the roundabout again, and you know, checking in your mirrors. You don't, you know, you're swapping lanes, and you want to make sure that you do it right. And it wasn't a very pleasant roundabout. And I thought, I've not got brain freeze though, and I don't know anybody who has. I know a whole load of people who get in a situation with their horse and they simply get off. They get brain freeze, don't know what they're doing, and they stop and get off. And they don't do it in their car. And if you were going to do it in your car, you do it on a roundabout like that, where the sat nav told you to go one way, the lights are going wrong, there's a lorry here and there's a lorry there, and there's cars all around you, 200 cars, and you don't know where you're going, and you got the roadworks, and you got the signposts, and you got those painted arrows in the road when the sun's too low, and you can't see which way they're going, and you're trying to look at your mirrors and change lanes and think of motorbikes and you might hate it. You might absolutely hate it. You can feel the adrenaline. You probably do something in your environment to make sure that you're concentrating. You go, shut up, kids, I have to concentrate. You turn down the radio. You got the adrenaline that you know you're in a situation that if you made a mess of it, you would make a right mess of it. And you don't get brain freeze. Not only do you not get brain freeze, but even throughout having that anxiety in your body, you are still utterly confident that you can get round this roundabout and deal with the scenarios, and you don't get brain freeze. I've known people get brain freeze and then get off their horse, and as if that was a thing. And I've never known anybody get brain freeze on the roundabout and then simply step out of their car and go, I can't handle this, I'm getting off, and let their car coast away across the roundabout into the other traffic. Never known that. So you don't get brain freeze, you opt out. If you were to get out of your car, you'd know you were opting out. If you were to drive along and your car hits a little bit of November wet leaves and it skids out a little bit, and you go, oh, get a rush of adrenaline. Oh. You don't suddenly opt out and throw your arms around the steering wheel and go, oh, maybe someone will run out of the hedge and get hold of the steering wheel and drive the car for me. You just don't. Irrelevant of being scared. You just do the job at hand. You don't opt out. No one's ever got out their car and just let it go across the roundabout. Oh, I'm not doing it. I got brain freeze, so I got out. But thousands of leisure horse riders have come to my Rider Confidence course, and they all know exactly what we mean by brain freeze. And it's simply not true. You don't freeze, you opt out. You opt out of taking control. Maybe you say, oh, maybe the horse will get us out of this mess, and you give the responsibility over to the horse. Maybe a little part of you does hope that somebody comes running out the bush and grabs hold of your reins, and your instructor just happens to be walking past, or some sort of magical thing's going to happen. Which brings me back to what I was saying on the last episode. Action beats anxiety. With the car, you have to take action. There's no choice. I'm just going to move more into the shade of the lemon tree. the sun's starting to blind me. You have to take action. There's no choice. So you do. And you save the day. Every time you cross the road, it all goes wrong. You have to take action. You have to take action. And you do. And you save the day. Every time you go swimming, plenty of people get in trouble swimming. So you simply take the action that you need to do and you save the day. Nobody gets brain freeze when they fall down the stairs. Well, I started falling down the stairs and I got brain freeze. So I just stood there tipping over, not even grabbing for the banister. In all these situations, you don't opt out. So you don't have to opt out when it comes to your horse. I hope you found that interesting. Lovely. Let's just have I'm going to have a quick look through the comments, see if people have agreed or disagreed. So I'll invite anybody to come on and fight me about it. No, not fight me about it. Anybody to come on and ask a question. If you've got a question about anything, please come on. So let me just do that. To ask a question, please pick this link. Control V. There we are. So if you'd like to click that link, then you'll come onto the show. You can ask me a question about anything Rider Confidence, and for that matter, anything about making your job digitized so that you can grow YouTube channels and Facebook channels like this. My knowledge is limited with there, but there you go. You can ask, come on, you can ask about anything. You can ask about anything you like. Trick riding, Jiggitofka, horseback archery, Doctor Who, ducks. Possibilities are endless. So what I'm going to do now is just have a little look through the comments. But before I do, I'm just going to talk about my exciting news for today, which is the first original work of art came into my shop, my Shopify shop, which you can buy the merchandise on, and it is in a bidding type auction. It's on eBay. Currently the bid stands at £200. That happens straight away, but it's an original watercolor art by Nikki Moksha, and it's absolutely super. So I'm really delighted. It's the most amazing thing that I've ever seen. So let me just share my screen here. Okay, so I'm going to share a screen there. Oh, is it sharing? Oh, there we are. I'm going to share that. Now you can see what you look like now. Share. Oh, share. Share my entire screen. Can I share that? Okay, it's thinking about sharing it. It's just having a buff. And what I want to do, come on, StreamYard, don't let me down now. StreamYard, not responding. Now what do I do? Now it's gone off. StreamYard, this isn't working very well. I can't go back or anything. Oh, well, what I can do, I suppose, is go and have a look at. I'll just put that on because for all I know, you're getting this. If you're seeing this, look at that. That is the most amazing thing I think I've ever seen. It's just beautiful. I'm just going to minimize that, see if StreamYard's actually playing now. Oh, now I've lost it. Something it doesn't like there. check that out. Oh, don't know what happened there. It's just oh, look at that now, sharing the screen. There we go. Don't know what happened there. Okay, so look at this. Yeah, you ain't joking. Can you see that? Can you see that? Now, because it's my horse, so you can see the photo. I need to put the photo up that came from it. I hope you can still see this screen. Let's find the photo that it came from. So have a little look there. There's a photo that it came from. Is this one here? And you've got to admit that is the most amazing thing ever. Look at it. Wow. That is simply incredible. So the bidding is currently on £200. The eBay link. Oh, I wonder if I could pop that on here. Maybe I could. Maybe I could. Here's the link. I could just take that. Anybody's interested in having this one-off work of art, there is going to be no prints of it. There's going to be no prints. It's not going in the calendar. It's not going to be sold. This is the value of this is one-off. This is your chance. Get it all done if you want it, of course. There we are. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Yeah, so that was my sharing my screen experiment. Oh, I'm back again. That is absolutely super. Right then, everybody, that's me done. If you would join me again tomorrow, if I possibly can, I will do another Ask Karl G. And feel free to ask your questions. And of course, you're always invited to pop onto the show and give a little bit of context and personalization. If you don't want to come onto the show and just write a question, I'll do my best to answer it, but obviously it won't necessarily apply. Lovely. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you found it interesting. And bye.